Ladies and gentlemen, here to present the next Lifetime Achievement Award to her own cousin is the Oscar award-winning actress who herself was a Lifetime Achievement Award recipient at the 2009 Gabby Awards, Olympia Dukakis.
It's my privilege, of course. It's my heartfelt privilege to introduce this evening Michael Dukakis as the Lifetime Achievement Award. There are lots of things we know about Michael. He was assemblyman, he was governor, he ran the marathon when he was 17, he ran for president in '88, and there are things that not many people know about Michael. They don't know that he has, as far as I'm concerned, an totally unreasonable belief in the democratic process. I am stunned that he continues as a professor at Northeastern University and as a visiting professor at UCLA to instill a passion for public service and public life. A few weeks ago, I said to him, Michael, given the situation today, why would any intelligent human being want to become a part of this political system in this country? And he, without a minute break, he said to me, well, do you know what Pericles said? Pericles said that any man who only cares for himself is an idiotis, an idiot. So that really shut me up. I thought, okay, in spite of all that we see around us, our desire and our efforts to care about others is really at the heart of what is political life. During the '88 run for president, Michael and I had opportunity to spend time together. And during that time, we always ended up talking about our parents and our fathers from Mytilene. And great, okay. One of the things we talked about and we acknowledged was that if Constantine, my father, and Panos, his father, were alive today in 1988, the idea that one of their children had an Oscar and the other was running for president would have brought them to the point of tears. And we sat there in this car as we drove from one place to the other, trying to raise money, and talked about our fathers and the journey. And it wasn't only the sacrifices, because we're all aware of those, but it was the appetite they had for life here in America. They wanted to take hold of it, and they did. They wanted to shake it, and they did. The first time I was asked to speak about Michael was in 1988 in New York City, and we all got into cars, and there was a lot of enthusiasm, and we were down someplace downtown, I think, around Wall Street. I don't know exactly where we were, and we came as a group, and there were people yelling and cheering, and I mean, it was my first exposure to all this. It was so chaotic. At any rate, I had not a thought in my head. And as we came around the corner, one word came to mind, axios. Where that word came from, because I have to tell you I'm fairly illiterate in Greek, I don't know. But Michael Dukakis is truly axios. Deserving of our respect, our gratitude, and certainly of this honor. Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Sondheim has a song, Good Times and bum times. He's seen them all, and my dears, he's still here. Okay, Michael, let's go.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Like fine wine, she just gets better and better with age. 2 Olympias here tonight, and that was the name of our Yaya. For Mytilene, there's a kind of Mytilene theme here. You hearing it this evening? And in 2 years, when Kitty and I celebrate our 50th wedding anniversary, we're going to take, we want to take our kids and their spouses and our 8 grandchildren back to Mytilene to show them where they came from. My thanks to all of you. I understand we have 3 minutes. Giving a retired politician 3 minutes, very difficult. But I remember a few years ago when I was emceeing the annual Greek Independence Day celebration in front of City Hall in Boston. I had about 7 listed speakers and about 25 Greeks who wanted to speak. And I finally turned to one of my friends and I said, "How do you say short and sweet in Greek?" He said, "Liga ke kala." I'm going to try to do that tonight. But this is a very emotional moment for me, as it is for many of you, because 100 years ago next April, a young 15-year-old Greek lad, parents from Mytilene, moved like a lot of the islanders to the Turkish mainland, and my dad was born in the town of Adramiti, not too far from Ayvali. Came to the United States when he was 15 over the violent objection of his father, who didn't want him to come, in 1912. Didn't speak a word of English, didn't have a lot of money in his pocket, had 2 older brothers working in the textile mills in Lawrence and Lowell, Massachusetts. And folks, that young man, 12 years later, was graduating from the Harvard Medical School. How he did it, I don't know. Practiced medicine for 52 years on Huntington Avenue in Boston, across from the Museum of Fine Arts. And I remember, as he was close to death, at the age of 84, in the hospital, a nurse coming up to me who had worked with him and said to me, "Your father is the most ethical man I've ever known." And that, too, is part of who we are. My mother, 1 year later, 9 years of age, came from Larissa with her family. Her name was Efterpi Buki. Settled in the city of Haverhill, another mill town in Massachusetts. And thanks to the remarkable elementary school principal in Haverhill, Massachusetts, my mother stayed in school, finished high school, went to Bates College in 1921 in Lewiston, Maine, and was the first Greek-American young woman ever to go away to college in the history of the United States. And this past weekend, our oldest grandchild, Alexandra, graduated from Bates College, where her great-grandmother arrived in 1921. And the first week Allie was at Bates 4 years ago, she called us one day very excited. She said, "I was in the library studying. I looked up. There was a picture of Yaya on the wall." So like so many of you folks, I've been blessed. And it all began here. And the one thing I hope we will continue to do is to make sure that young Greek Americans understand the importance of that Athenian oath and become deeply and actively involved in the politics and the public life of this country. It's part of our heritage. And I want to see that happen. So my thanks to Greg, to the foundation, to my fabulous cousin, to so many of you who helped in 1988. I'm sorry I didn't do better. You know, if I'd beaten Bush 1, you'd have never heard of Bush 2, and we wouldn't be in this mess. So it's all my fault. But we have a special role to play in this country, and a particularly special role to play in public service. And I hope we will take that very seriously. 1,000 thanks. I will treasure this for the rest of my life.